What is up, y'all? So today I'm gonna show you the Kallari build I use. This is it, the art of Kallari, but I'm actually gonna start over just so I show you exactly what cards I use and in what order I use them. This build has been working really well for me. That's why I made this build video. Usually I don't, but it's just been working really well, and I want to show you guys what I use. So to start off with, you're gonna want the Warlord Prime card, just obviously because it gives you damage if you were to get the OP buff, and I mean as much damage as you want, the better. So you're going to want that Warlord. And then for your equipment cards, this is what I start off with. You can do it in many orders, and I'll tell you which ways you can, but this is what I usually do. You're going to start off with the Amulet of the Veteran, and that's going to give you damage and health. And the reason I go with this first is because early on you're going to want that extra health because you're pretty squishy early on and you're not doing too much damage, so you're going to be more in the open. You're not going to be able to one-shot people as much, and this extra little health is going to help you out. And once you max that card out, you're going to get an extra 200 health, and that's going to be 300 in total, and that's just going to make you a little bit more tanky than you usually are. The reason I go for this health card as well is because if they have another Kallari on their team, this little bit of health might give you the little edge if you were to go one-on-one with their Kallari. Just that extra little health that they don't have is going to help you out a lot. So this health card is really good. Plus, you're not going to miss out on a lot of damage once you watch what I put in next. So you want to start off with the Amulet of the Veteran. Actually, once you start the game off, you obviously want your health pots and your mana pots. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. But you're gonna start off with, what I do is I start off with 2 health pots and 1 mana pot. You can switch that up however you want. You want at least 1 of each, because once you start off, you're gonna be jungling. You're not really gonna be that much help to your team until you get your ultimate. So you're just gonna want to jungle until you can get your ultimate. So the reason I grab 2 health pots is because it basically lets you last in the jungle just a little bit longer, and you get a little bit more of an edge on compared to their jungler. So I go with 2. You could go with 1 and 1 harvester key if you want, but I usually don't mind waiting on the harvester, or someone else does it, which is good, but you can't really depend on them. It's kind of your job. But or you can go with 2 mana, 1 health. I just feel 2 health, 1 mana works really well because you don't have that many abilities early on. You're gonna drop this health pot later, but to begin with, I like that. Then after you do that, you're gonna get the Amulet of the Veteran, which I already explained. And then once you get the Amulet of the Veteran, the next card you're gonna want to get is where is it? Is the Wind Carver blade. You're gonna want 2 or 3 of these Wind Carver blades. I go with 2, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I only own 2 of them, but I go with 2. Usually that works out really well. And once you buy 2 of these, you're gonna, so once you buy your where is it once you buy your Amulet of the Veteran, you can either start to upgrade that, or you can buy your Wind Carver blades. It kind of depends on the way the game is going. If you feel like people are out leveling you and you need a little bit more damage, you can start to upgrade this. Or if you feel like you're above everyone and you can kind of stall a little bit, you can go with the Wind Carver blades. It just really depends on the way the game is going. And on all of the upgrades, you're gonna want to get Major Strike. So you're gonna want as many Major Strikes as you want. I have 8, so you're gonna want to. I usually use all 8 of them. I put 3 on the Amulet of the Veteran, and then I buy the Wind Carver blades and I put 3 on each. And usually, because I only have 8, not 9, the 9th one I usually throw in a Major Kinetic on one of the Wind Carver blades, and that's just because I don't have 9 Major Strikes. If you have 9 Major Strikes, I would probably throw in 9 Major Strikes, but to be honest, that Major Kinetic works really well, especially end game, because I usually don't get far enough in the game where I can even use all 9 of them, but if you do, that extra Major Kinetic is going to be really good. Even if you're going 1v1 with like a Feng Mao or another Kallari, that extra little speed, because you're already hitting hard as hell, because of all the Major Strikes you have on, and then that little extra speed you have is going to make you hit really quick, and you're going to be able to kill people really fast. So I really don't mind that Major Kinetic, and usually at this point your damage is already high enough where you don't really need more, but obviously if you want more, you can throw another Major Strike in there. And That's usually what I do with Kallari. Now, there's different ways you can change this build. You could, like I said already, you could choose to put the upgrades first before you buy the Wind Carver blade, or you could buy all of this first and start to upgrade them. It kind of depends. I'm pretty sure it depends on the game, but most of the time I usually upgrade it first. So I get the Amulet of the Veteran, then I start to upgrade that, then I get the Wind Carver, I upgrade that, then I get the second Wind Carver and upgrade that. But it honestly depends on the way the game is going. Sometimes you don't even need to upgrade that Amulet of the Veteran first. If you feel like you're not getting killed a lot and you don't really need that extra max health, you can just start up to upgrade your Wind Carver for an extra damage and attack speed. So like I said, depends on the way the game is going. And another thing you could switch up is you could use you could use strikes instead of major strikes. Now if you want to use strikes instead of major strikes, that's going to give you, you're going to be able to max out your cards quicker because strikes only cost 2. So basically you can max out your Wind Carver and your Amulet of the Veteran way quicker than you would if you were using major strikes. But if you do that, then obviously your cards are going to get maxed out quick, so you're going to want extra equipment cards. So if you want to do that, the extra equipment card I would go with, and this completely depends on the way the game is going. You can go with another Wind Carver blade, if you have one. You could even go with Void Steel Dagger. That's usually what I go with if I have a lot of extra cards, because Void Steel Dagger will give you extra damage. And that extra pen is really good because all characters come with a base amount of physical resistance. So that little penetration, even if the other team doesn't have physical resistance in their cards, their characters come built in with just a little bit, and this is going to make you hit just a little bit harder. And it helps as well, like if you're going against steals and other characters that actually do have physical resistance, this is going to help as well. So this is another card you could put in if you have a lot of cards and you just want to, and it's getting late game and you just have a lot of card points and you want to spend them. This is one card you could spend them on. You could throw another Wind Carver blade if you have one. You could even throw another Amulet of the Veteran. It really just depends on the way you want to go. If you want to be a little more tanky against like their Kallari or whatever, it honestly depends on what they have. But I feel like this build works for any team that they have, because you're just basically building for your damage and a little bit of health, which helps with everything. But yeah, if it's very specific and they have a lot of physical characters, you could throw a tempered plate. I usually never do that. This should be enough, so I'm not even going to throw that in the build. This should be good for the game. So this is the build I usually go with. Let me just go ahead and throw those strikes in there just in case you do want to go down the strike route. But I usually go down the major strike route just because as Kallari, you get a lot of kills when you play as Kallari. And when you kill players, you get a lot of card points. So card points aren't that big a deal. You get them pretty quick, and usually by the time I max this out and I max my 2 Wind Carver blades, the game's usually about over at that point. And if it's not, then I'll throw in a Void Steel Dagger. That's usually good enough for me. And I hope you guys really enjoy this build. I hope it works out for you. And I call this build the Art of Kallari because this is the Art of Kallari. This is the way I play her. This is the way it works for me. I've played a lot of games with this build and it works out really well. But you got to remember, Kallari is a tough character to play. Her difficulty is a 9. So, I mean, you can't just depend on the build to do all the work. You also got to know what you're doing. Got to be able to play the game really well. But thank you guys for watching. If you want to see some footage of this build in action, watch out my last video. I put it on. It's basically a video of the whole game I had. I just thought it was a pretty good game, so I decided to put it on YouTube. And yeah, that's basically just this build in action. Thanks you guys for watching so much. Hit a like and ask me any questions you want. If you have any other, or if you even have any fixes to this build, any suggestions, I'll definitely be open. So definitely hit me up, and thanks for watching.